Hi, this is Jeff Zeig in the training room of the Milton Erickson Foundation in Phoenix, Arizona with another 5-minute tip for therapists. My topic for these 5 minutes is utilization, but if you go to YouTube, you can find a much more elaborate presentation on utilization, and for those of you who want to explore deeper into that topic, I advise you to go to YouTube and see my channel on YouTube. It's free. So utilization. Utilization is the foundation of the work that Milton Erickson did. I don't know how many cases Freud added to the literature, maybe 13. Erickson added 300 plus different cases, and all of them are based in the idea of utilization. Utilization is a state, it's a therapist state. It's the readiness of the therapist to respond constructively to whatever it is that exists in the environment. And utilization then becomes a way in which the medium is the message. As the therapist is utilizing whatever it is that exists in the situation, the therapist is demonstrating to the patient that to the client, that there is something that is accessible, something that can be utilized. Now we could say, very simply speaking, that psychological problems are believed in limitations. The patient believes that she doesn't have a resource to change or to cope adequately. Utilization is a philosophy of sufficiency. Whatever exists in the situation can be harnessed. Whatever exists in the situation can be utilized. There's two little vignettes from Milton Erickson that I'll offer to you that illustrate this utilization approach. So a man comes to Erickson, the man is depressed, he's not enjoying his life is rather routine. Every morning he gets up, he has breakfast, he reads. He has lunch, he reads, he has dinner, he reads. Somehow his life isn't working in the way that he had hoped. He's consulting with Milton Erickson. Erickson suggests to the man, well, I'm a physician. I'm not only interested in your physical health, I'm also your mental health. I'm also interested in your physical health. Here's what I suggest to you. Get up in the morning, have breakfast, make a lunch, walk to the library. The library is not very far from where it is that you live, and of course you don't need to bring books because there are books that are available already at the library, so you can have your lunch, you can read, and then at the end of the evening you can go home and you can have dinner and do whatever you want to after dinner. Well, the man takes Erickson up on the suggestion. He walks to the library. He starts reading. Somehow he winds up in a section on ornithology, the study of birds. Then he realizes there are other people around who are also interested in ornithology. They're interested in the study of birds. They start talking with each other. They start to establish a club of people who are interested in the birds that exist in Arizona. The man starts to have a social life. He gets over his problem. Now, rather than saying to somebody, you need to have a social life, which would be true, what Erickson does is he utilizes a resource that exists in the community. He takes something that exists into the community and he harnesses it. When I first visited Milton Erickson in 1973, I wanted to give him a gift because clearly he wasn't going to charge me for the time that he spent with me. And I didn't know exactly what to do, so what I did was I got his daughter Roxana to take me to a crafts fair. Erickson liked wood carvings. I found a wood carving. I'll show you a picture of that wood carving. The wood carving is a duck, and the duck is made out of driftwood from the sea. The base is raw. The neck and the head are shaped very much like the head and neck of a duck. If you're ever in Phoenix, Arizona, and you want to visit the historical Erickson residence, the Erickson Museum, you'll be able to see that duck on display. Well, awkwardly, I was 26 years old, I gave Erickson the duck thinking that I would never see him again. Erickson looked at the duck, he held it, carefully examined it, looked at me meaningfully. And then he did the same thing twice more. He looked at the duck, looked at me meaningfully, looked at the duck, looked at me meaningfully. And then he said, emerging. And so whatever you gave him, he was going to do a value-added communication. He was going to add something to it. That that duck sat on Erickson's desk for years in a prominent place. And then after Dr. Erickson died, Mrs. Erickson heard me tell that story, gave me back the duck. I gave it back to the museum. I had given him tailoring. I gave him something that was of value to him, wood carvings. What he gave me back is utilization. Immediately, he was in a response-ready state, ready to advance whatever was happening, to make the trance a little bit better, to advance the therapy a little bit more. When you read Erickson, look for that moment of utilization. That's the fulcrum of change. It's the pivotal moment in which change happens in all of Erickson's cases. This is Jeff Zeig with another 5-minute tip for therapists. Thank you.